Okay, for example 4, you're told that 2 plus 3i is a 0, which means 2 minus 3i will also be a solution as well. So they're conjugates. Now, what we're going to do is when we do long division with this here in a minute, is we can't do synthetic division with imaginary numbers, so we're going to have to use long division. I'm going to set these two up and get the factored form. So I know I have x equals 2 plus 3i, and over here we got x equals 2 minus 3i. And what's going to end up happening is, it looks ugly, but there's really a trick to it. I'm going to subtract the 2 and the minus 3i from both sides. And I get x minus 2 minus 3i equals 0. And over here, it's minus 2 plus 3i, minus 2 plus 3i. And I get x minus 2 plus 3i is equal to 0. The catch is, when I multiply these together, notice both parts have an x minus 2. And we have a minus 3i and a plus 3i. So the trick is to recognize that this right here is your A and there's your B. So there's my A, there's my B. So when I multiply this out, I end up getting x minus 2 minus 3i times x minus 2 plus 3i. So when I multiply this out, I end up with x minus 2 squared plus 3 squared. So the trick is to know that the x minus 2 is the same. So if I treat this as the a term, then it multiplies out very nicely. And when I multiply it out, I get the following. I get x squared minus 4x plus 4, and then the plus 9 comes from the 3 squared, which gives me x squared minus 4x plus 13. So we're going to do long division with the x squared minus 4x plus 13. Now, when I do long division with this, notice I'm supposed to have 4 solutions. I already have 2, so I really just got to find 2 more. So I'm still focusing on the first term. X squared goes in the x to the 4th, x squared times, multiply, and I get the following. Now when I change my signs, this becomes a minus, plus, minus, combined like terms. X to the 4th goes away, the 4x to the 3rd went away, I'm left with a negative 1x squared. Then bring down the 4x and the minus 13. X squared goes in negative 1x squared, negative 1 times. When I multiply it out, I'm going to pause it. Now before I combine like terms, change the signs, and notice everything cancels out, and it should, because we were told that this right here was supposed to be a factor. So now, all I got left now is to worry about the x squared minus 1. So when I factor that, that's a difference of squares. So the x squared minus 1 gives us x plus 1 and x minus 1, which means x equals negative 1 and x equals 1. So there's 2 of my solutions, and the question is, where's the other 2? Well, you were given those originally. Remember, we were told that 2 plus 3i was a 0, so there's a third one, and 2 minus 3i is the 4th solution. So I can look at it and I say, well, I have x equals 2 plus 3i and x equals 2 minus 3i, or you can also have it written as 2 plus or minus 3i. Either one works. So you can go with that, or you can go with this option. And there you go.